Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 dangerous things to avoid saying during technical interviews. My name is Alex from Dev School. We coached more than 50 engineers in 2025 alone, and we helped them get higher paid jobs in 1 to 3 months with an average salary increase of 25%. We work all across the world: Europe, USA, Canada, Brazil, Argentina, and some parts of Asia even. We are engineers ourselves, not recruiters, not career coaches as well. That out of the way, let's jump in. The first thing is don't talk about your company. Sometimes it's just better to shut up. Literally, a lot of people just talk too much. They literally talk too much. They're like burying themselves into the ground by just talking too much. Nobody likes people that talk behind their backs. If you are probably talking about your past employers, you're probably going to talk more about them in the future. Sometimes it's good to not say anything rather than complain and do that. That's why I put it in the first place, because I feel like this is like the fastest way you can get disqualified from an interview. So here is what to do instead. When they ask you why are you leaving, etc., just say something like, I'm looking for a better opportunity to grow. I love my team boss culture, even if you're lying. Right? Just bring a positive energy to the interview. Say stuff like, I'm looking for more responsibility. Focus on more of the positive side of things and don't talk shit, essentially. So moving into the second point, don't try to guess. I feel like this is the worst. I just hate see people try to guess when they are clearly wrong or they clearly don't know. It just shows that you're not a reliable source of information. You're like very ego driven. You're not self aware that you maybe don't know, or you just want to present yourself in the best possible way, even though that kind of hurts you in the long run. It seems like the only thing that you care about is like being right. It just overall, makes you look bad. So instead, when you don't know stuff, you can say everything. You can just say like, I could be wrong, but if you want to guess, go ahead and do that, but be like kind of humble about it. You can also say stuff like, I read about this earlier, but now I can't remember. Bring it back. Sometimes we forget stuff. This happens, especially when during an interview, you can be pressured and you can forget stuff. It just happens. But don't try to be the guy that tries to guess and ends up looking like a fool in the end. And even worse, saying stuff that's downright wrong during those like technical discussions. You can even say, I'm not 100% sure. Can I Google it? You would be surprised in the live coding interviews. I've asked this and they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And I've heard students do that as well. And sometimes they said, we recognize that he didn't know something, but he was proactive in finding the solution to it. You can even go as far as asking for help, if you will. But please don't say, I don't know. Don't say that. Whatever you do, just don't say stuff like, I've never worked with that. It just shows that you give up so easily. It may seem like you're incompetent, may seem that you are unwilling to learn. It's not very proactive to just say you don't know anything. Even if you don't know it, you can frame it in a different way so it sounds better. So what I do instead is connect it with something similar like you have done. For example, oh, I don't know Postgres, but I know that MySQL is very similar. Oh, I haven't worked with Vue.js, but I have extensive experience in React. Just bring it back to something like you've already done. Just make sure that they would understand you're proactive in learning it. You can also say, I am not sure. Let me think about it. Can we come back to it later? But be careful when you use this, because if you use this too many times, it's going to be fishy, right? You can also say, I don't really know, but here is how I would approach it. Didn't work with X tech, but I work with Y. Do your research. You can say, I don't know regarding this, but if I was placed with this task, I would like research it. I would want an investigation task, whatever it is. Don't frame yourself as somebody that completely you just give up on everything. It seems like you don't want to work out a solution. And honestly, you're not expected to know everything as well. So that's to be expected. Here I want to mention my paid program. Every like month we have open spots to work one-on-one with me and my technical mentor. And if you're curious, there is a link. I will place it in the comments. We basically cancel over 50 to 60 applications. So please, if you apply, be serious about it. So moving on to the fourth is buzzwords. And you hear it all the time. All these generic self-starter, quick learner, results-oriented, building products that scale, all of these general phrases that just everybody uses, or it sometimes can seem like you want to just sound smart, and sometimes I see people even use those buzzwords incorrectly, which can have the opposite effect. So I don't want to just hear about those buzzwords. Like, tell me like how you can apply it in the real world. Tell me what you have done. Have you built teams? Have you mentored juniors? Share the how. Just show me the context of what you did, how it affected the organization, what impact did it have. Don't just give me those generic buzzwords. But of course, be humble when you do that. Show character while you're at it, because I feel like people lock themselves into these like fancy words. They try to be really strict with the stuff that they say and messes up with your mind. So it's here where you have to stop and kind of like think for yourself, think of how you can present the information. Of course, use the star method. It's great. It does the job pretty well. After you've done that, you can move into more advanced stuff. But I feel like if people just started expressing what they did, expressing the impact they've had on the organization, and just be humble and like show a bit of character. Don't say the same stuff that everybody's saying. And also, like, all over people's LinkedIn profiles, resumes, you can just see the same thing over and over and over again. Moving on to the fifth one is don't ask stupid questions. I feel like kind of it's self-explanatory, but you guys would be surprised by the amount of times that I hear people they ask stuff about, oh, what tech stack do you use, what do you guys do, what is the culture like. It just shows that you have absolutely not researched the company. You had zero preparations walking in, and it doesn't have to take that long. It can just take 10 to 15 minutes to do that, and it's going to set you apart from a lot of people that just walk into interviews and they haven't even prepared the basic tell me about yourself question. For me, if I was interviewing those kind of people, it just shows that you have no excitement about the company whatsoever. Instead, here, what you can do, just ask specific questions that you can't Google. What team I'm going to be working besides? What is the exact product? Obviously, don't ask the question if they have one public product. So don't ask questions you can clearly Google or they're clearly like stated in the job listing. But instead, what you can do is use that information from the research to further down your character. So you can say something like, oh, I really like the culture that you guys are building there. I really resonate with X, Y, and Z values. How are you incorporating that inside the company? That's a very specific question that most probably will set you apart. And remember, always remember that you're also qualifying them. You're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. It's supposed to be a conversation, not an interrogation, which actually brings me to my bonus point. I can do anything. Just just don't say that. Oh, I can do everything for you guys. That just signals out a massive call for desperation. They can tell that you just tell them anything just to get the job, and they will know that eventually you will leave this job because you took it out of desperation and you didn't really like it. So that's why it's really important for you guys to vet those companies out and see if they're actually the place you want to work for. Because in the end, the people that you are interviewing with right now, they will be your colleagues for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, maybe even 10 years. That's a big thing. That's why when I talk about, even in my content, about qualifying people, it's like people are all the time in the comments, yeah, but I have to take every single job. Yeah, sure. This also will vet you out a lot of the times because they know that you will just be a bad hire. And that's the truth. And they don't want to deal with that later down the line. Neither do you, because do you want to look for another job in the next 3 months, 6 months, a year? I mean, if you have to, you just have to. But do you want to really? I don't think so. So here is what you can do instead. Just tell them the value, you can bring to the table, what you can do. Like, again, bringing back from like the other points, tell them about the teams you've built. Give them stuff that will solve their business problems. That's what you're here for. Whether you realize it or not, you're solving their problems. But also don't remember to hold tight to your values. If a company doesn't align with where you want to go, I'm not saying for you to not take that job, but just hold on tight to your values. Don't lose yourself over a company. I also very against people taking those jobs because what will end up happen is you will despise this job later down the line and you might get stuck in a toxic environment, or at least it's toxic to you. It might not be toxic to somebody else that could have accepted the job.